Utah flag as it was originally went out with the official call.
Thank you.
Can I have the secretary to speak on that?
Second. Hey, a second. It's been made and seconded. Back to you for introduction.
Mr. Chair, I am actually really sad to be here right now that I have to come here and fight for the Utah flag. I'm a Republican, and everybody in here is Republican. We appreciate our history, our values, our traditions, and principles. I never dreamed I'd be here for this moment, but with that being said, here we are. And we have a resolution that is actually well thought out. It is collaborative. We talked to people all around the state, and everyone thought it was pretty agreeable. And just to speak to that, we've had over 140 delegates now co-sponsoring this resolution. So I think that speaks to some collaborative effort. I also would like to thank those delegates who reached out and sponsored this. I also like to thank Spencer Cox, Governor Spencer Cox, for actually giving his support to this resolution with an interview he did with KSL a couple of days ago. So thank you, Governor. This resolution, I'll make a state what this resolution is not. It's not an attack on our legislators. It's not an attack on those or elected officials who made this law. But what it is a sentiment that we believe in our history, and it should stay. We support our flag. We didn't want it to change. We also believe that our forebears should be honored by keeping it the original state flag of Utah.
Let's go over here.
I'm nervous as all get out, so bear with me.
That's all right.
I'm Marie White, Salt Lake County 020.
And what's your name?
Marie White.
Perfect.
I am an Air Force veteran. My husband is a Marine veteran. I didn't even go to school until I was 48, and I teach 6th grade.
Okay, what's your question?
My quick information is I wanted an opportunity to read something about the flag that I think we need to hear. I'm an educator. I'm here to educate.
So that would be an argument in favor of?
Yes.
Okay, so we need somebody to speak against it first, and then we'll come back to you. So I need somebody to speak against the resolution. Go ahead. Name and county.
Yeah, my name is Brian Anderson. I'm in Utah County, Lehigh 311. I would like to support the resolution. Given the recent referendum drive and the 50,000 signatures, and I believe if we weren't so blessed with the moisture we were praying for, it would have been much higher, that it is apparent that it's important to listen to and directly address the concerns of those who are signing. The resolution is a continuation of this effort, and reading the text as is, I think it demonstrates a very reasonable anxiety regarding our preserving and honoring of our heritage, but unfortunately I cannot support the resolution as it is written because it contains a few elements I can't support, namely insinuations of malice and a negative tone, some inaccurate claims, and poor positioning of our party going forward. I don't think we can go forward on this issue by maligning a significant portion of our party. We know what history erasure looks like. It occurs when activists are spreading lies about our history and insist that it's too offensive to preserve, but every person in this room, I believe, cherishes our heritage and is committed to preserve it. The resolution suggests that through SB 31 that we are participating in the nationwide movement of history erasure and removing symbols, but nobody involved in SB 31 finds our historic flag offensive. Instead, we are preserving it in law for the first time with an image definition, and the governor has issued an executive order to enshrine a dignified, continuous role for the flag in perpetuity. We all cherish our flag. We cherish our history. We are not erasing our history, but adding to it. Our new state flag is now part of our story. It is 100% Utah, and we should not insist on erasing it either.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, now we're back over to you.
Yes, I have 2 minutes.
Yep, please state your name and county one more time.
Okay, Marie White, Sandy 020.
Thank you, go ahead.
Okay, as I said, I'm an educator. I teach 6th grade. My husband and I have raised 12 children, and we're expecting our 17th grandchild in September. Yeah, and I just want to share that neither of us were born here in Utah. We are here by choice, and because we love this nation. nation and we love our country. My classroom, love it or not, is called the White House, only we do it right. Because my last name's White, and my kids, I teach them about the U.S. flag and the importance. Now I'm teaching them about our flag, and I wanted to read this. Anybody can get this on the internet, but I think we all need to hear it. It says, a bald eagle, the national bird of the United States, represents the safety of America. The arrows in the talons of the eagle represent courage in war. The sega lily, the Utah state flower, represents peace. The state motto, industry, represents progress, hard work, and community, as does the emblem of the beehive, which is also a traditional Mormon symbol. Cross-union flag shows Utah's support and commitment to the United States. The name Utah appears underneath the beehive. The date, 1847, represents the year Brigham Young led the first Mormons into the state. The year listed below, that 1896, represents the year that Utah was admitted to the Union.
20 seconds.
The gold around the state seal represents eternal order. The shield underneath the bald eagle represents common defense in the military. The design was meant to represent Utah.
Mr. Chairman, Nathan Rex, Salt Lake County. This has been the moment we've all been waiting for. I, too, am a fifth great-grandson of Brigham Young through his first wife, who died while he was still living in Vermont. My duty to my colleagues here at Senate compels me to offer up for their consideration certain facts that have been downplayed or outright ignored. First, the flag was designed by Mark Brooks, not the progressive flag producer from Illinois. The Flag Commission was formed 2 years before he gave his TEDx talk at USU. He is trying to take credit for years of hard work performed by his betters and is esteemable only to a lucky village idiot. Second, the public was aware and consulted. The stories were carried by KVNU, KNRS, Fox 13, Cache Valley Daily, KSL, KUTV, ABC4, the Deseret News, and many more stations and papers. There were more than 7,000 theme ideas and submissions, not to mention hundreds of thousands of social media interactions. Mr. Chairman, you once lamented this party as dysfunctional, possessing factions, quote, trying to kill each other. This flag issue is one such issue being used as a litmus test to cause that faction to sort true Republicans from rhinos, and is producing some serious false positives. These are just a few of those who have been defamed as Benedict Arnold, the representative from South Jordan, who sponsored the act empowering candidates here at this convention to nominate or to be nominated with overwhelming convention support and skip a primary. The representative from Oregon, who passed legislation to protect women's sports from the cult of wokeism. The gentlelady from Harriman, who passed several bills fighting the CCP's long arm as it reaches for us here in Utah. The freshman senator from Brigham City and co-sponsor of the ban on vaccine passports. The gentleman from Riverton, who authored Utah's pro-life trigger law, stand your ground law, property tax reform. Even our senior senator, who was so recently and so warmly received by this convention, wrote an op-ed in Deseret News in favor of the new flag. Is he now a persona non grata rhino? Please forgive me if my animation seems to be agitation.
5 seconds.
My point is this: the flag is not a partisan issue, it's a matter of precedence, and the law recognizes the flag that suits those preferences. If you believe it is possible to have a Republican president,
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go one more in favor. We're going to go there.
Chad G. Saunders, Jenny 8675309. Okay, really drill at SB10.
We got a minute and 50 seconds. Make your case.
As a teen growing up in the 80s in the Moses Lake, Washington area, I had the privilege of having Fred Paul as a history teacher, civics teacher, and Washington State history teacher. Mr. Paul had a quote by George Santayana
Time. Because we have concluded our 10-minute time limit for debate, we are now to the vote, correct? Majority vote on the resolution itself. So resolution 1 for today. Everybody got your credentials where we can see them. All right, we've been through the discussion, we've been through it all, we've elapsed our time, and now is the time to vote. So those in favor of adopting resolution 1, resolution in support of the Utah flag, please raise your credential. Anybody opposed, please raise your credential. The ayes have it, ladies and gentlemen. Resolution 1. Thank you very much. If we really have, let us see if we have election results. If not, we will continue on. Josh, anything yet? Yeah, let's give it. We got 10 minutes. Let's get this done. You'll have to wait till the end to get results, so you got to stick around. Resolution number 2, resolution in support of the Utah Republican Party's nominating process. Paul Mackley is the sponsor, so is Paul out there?
Right here.
All right, the chair recognizes Paul Mackley to move his resolution.
Thank you, Weaver County. This has been interesting.
So move it for us, we'll get a second, then you can speak to it.
Go ahead. Second.
Okay, moved and seconded, let's go. Speak to it. We got 2 minutes.
There's some history on this. Last year I was at the convention. We interacted with the delegates, and it was really a really big movement. I made a comment at the end, and I'm following through on my promise. You're going to receive an email from me, overturn Senate Bill 54 for Utah. So hopefully you got that. So now, briefly, up until 2014, Senate Bill 54 delegates were able to effectively vet the very best Republican candidates in a nominating convention. They were authorized by their neighbors who elected them to study the issues, read over the literature, and have face-to-face discussions with the candidates. The delegates attended the convention, gave up a Saturday, and were able to effectively vet the very best Republican candidates and vote for the candidates who would best represent the party, uphold the platform, and represent Republicans regarding relevant issues. As many of us know, Senate Bill 54 created a different method with the signature gathering route changed fundamentally from 2014. Now, our role with integrity to represent our neighbors and to be a voter to vet out the very best policies, rules, bylaws, and candidates. So, I had an experience in our Weaver County last year where this thing played out. We had 4 candidates, and the lowest vote getter, who had previously served as a mayor and a city council and demonstrated democratic tax and spend, land use issues. So it was pretty well known it was a Democratic style candidate. The lowest vote getter then was advanced in the primary, became our county commissioner. This is a way to send a message to our legislature. They've done a lot of good to take a more bold approach, kind of like Ron Desantis. Get the voting power back to the people who make good government. Trust the delegates. 4,000 strong. Show respect to the delegates. And just like Roe versus Wade, that was overturned. Senate Bill 54 overturned in time. Thank you very much.
Somebody to speak against. Okay, point of information, let's go there.
Kimball Willard, STG 21, Washington County. Second to last line finishes up in the bill. Will support nominees chosen by its grassroots delegates and not support other candidates. If this goes through under the current language, what happens to the relationship with the party and current political members that gathered signatures? Specifically, what happens with Mike Lee?
Okay, here we go. So, just so you know, everybody in here is aware, this is not binding. This is a resolution, so nothing in this is binding of the party. The people who can make that, change has to come through the SEC and or be re-voted on here again next year. So this is a resolution stating what you believe. This is a non-binding contract in that respect.
Mr. Chair, point of personal privilege.
Okay, point of personal privilege.
All right. I, like many of you, am old enough to remember how this whole rigmarole got started. It got started in 2008.
Time out. Are we talking about this specifically?
Yes.
So are you for or against it? So
I I'm for it.
Okay, so I need one against it first, and then we'll come back to you.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
So,
are you against it?
yes, I'll speak
Okay.
against.
Go ahead, Dean County.
Kirby Glad from Utah County. This has one problem. If we leave here believing that we voted for this and that solves our problem, it will not solve the problem, because the problem is not in the legislature, the problem is in us. So let me explain how that works. 10 years ago, we have the convention system to keep wealth and influence out of our elections. 10 years ago, a group of wealthy and influential candidates realized that they could buy more elections in Utah if they didn't have the caucus and convention system, obviously. So they began a referendum. The referendum was to completely remove the convention system entirely. And every possible survey that was done, including a survey done by my own county of people who had attended the caucus, all would vote for an open primary rather than the caucus system. So the fault was not the electors, the legislators, who got together and came up with this compromise bill that allowed both systems, which became SB 64. The problem was our problem, because we, as a party, we did not teach the voters of the benefits of the caucus and convention system. So what I'm asking us to do is to leave here asking yourself, however you vote on this, ask yourself, what do I need to do in my neighborhood, in my precinct, in my county, to teach the voters the importance. If we can teach them the importance of having the nomination vote from the Republican Party, then candidates would not even need to gather signatures. It would be all over by then. And teaching the electorate and giving the value of our party, the value of our brand, that is how we make the caucus great again.
Great, thank you. All right, now we'll go back over here, Nathan County.
All right, Zach Stuckey, Washington County, SDG 38, and I am not a grandson of Brigham Young. Now, I am old enough, like I said, to remember how all of this got started. This got started partially because of moneyed interests, yes, but it had legs because people felt like they weren't being heard by us, the body. So one thing that I would recommend moving forward, although I support the resolution, is that we recognize that we have to do something better than just go back to the way it was. We have to move forward and give people a sense of enfranchisement. To that end, I recommend that we put in a clause that says you have to reach a 2/3 majority in convention. If that happens, then you are no longer allowed to pass through the signature route. And the second part is that, and I just blanked on it. Oh, this is it. No volunteer, no paid signature gathering. No paid signature gathering. Volunteers only. I yield my time.
Thank you. Move with your time. Is there anybody to speak against? Okay, let's go over here. Speaking against. Name and county, please.
Angie Carter, Utah County. My point, and I know you're going to boo me for this, so save it. I am a moderate Republican in this party. You would call me a right. And I'm one of the people that have felt unheard by the delegates. I am now a delegate, but in most of these races, I vote with 30% that ends up losing, but those very people end up getting 50 or 60% in the primary. We are actually not voting what our people want. And we need to either keep SB 54 or we need to do a better job of representing our districts.
Thank you. All right, anybody else in favor? Let's go here.
James Mackley from Weber County. So this resolution needs to be passed. Not that we understand it's going to solve the problem immediately, but this is going to start our party on the path to solve the problem through talking to our legislators. And you are the people who are going to start it today. So I invite you to vote with us in favor of this now. And at this time, I'd like to call the question.
Okay. Question has been called.
Point of information. information, just
Okay, point of information, go ahead.
Jody Schrader, Magna 13. I don't know, but I thought that you shut down the vote and I didn't see the numbers come, so I don't know.
It closed a long time ago. Like I said, we haven't unboxed the ballots yet. Okay, we're moving on here. Let's, okay, the question has been called, so we don't have to, we have to debate. Second. Okay, so here's what we can do. We can either have one more person speak against it for a minute and a half, or we can vote on it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to vote to end debate. So all those in favor of ending debate on this resolution, we're just ending debate. All in favor of ending debate, raise your credential. Okay, you can put them down. All those opposed to ending debate, please do the same. Hey, you guys have it. Okay, so that being said, we are on to vote on resolution number 2. So, those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 2, resolution in support of the Utah Republican Party's nominating process, please raise your credential. Okay, you can put them down. Those opposed to the adoption of resolution 2, please raise your credential. The ayes have it and the resolution has been adopted. Okay, Josh, do we have numbers? You ready to hit the unbox button? Oh, is this the final results? Okay, we have results, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, the nail bite. Okay, for the secretary's race for the Utah Republican Party 2023, it is Stafford Palmieri with 1,179 votes at 57.4%. 876 votes at 42.6%. Stafford Palmieri is the winner in that race. Thank you very much. What? Okay, he doesn't need a microphone. The motion has been made to adjourn. Is there a second?